Episode 430, Fable 5 is back.
The AI 6 podcast with Joanne Sweeney.
Fable 5 has been reinstated in Claude just 3 weeks after Anthropic had to switch it off following an order from the US government. It's Claude's most powerful model yet, and in this episode, I want to talk about what makes it different and how I'm actually using it in my own work, so you might see how it will fit for you. Hello, and you're very welcome back to AI 6. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoy the show, please share it with a pro that you know. If you missed it, Fable 5 comes from the same family as Mythos 5, the model that was judged too powerful to release broadly to the public at first. And it's not just another chatbot, it's designed to take on whole projects rather than one-off prompts, and its power comes from 3 big capabilities. Now, if you don't know about Mythos 5, then go back to episode 362 of AI 6 and catch up there. So, the first major capability of Fable 5, call it the little sister of Mythos 5, it can keep an enormous amount of material in its head at once. So, a whole code base, maybe years of emails, or a full policy file sitting in working memory. And that's what lets it read, rewrite, and double-check tens of millions of lines of code or pages of documents without losing the thread halfway through. Second, people talk about Fable 5's stamina. Older models are built for one-shot answers. So you ask it a question, they spit out an answer to us, job done, thanks very much. But Fable 5 is tuned to handle an entire project end-to-end. It can plan the steps, carry the steps out, check its own work, and keep going until the job is done. On the toughest software engineering benchmarks, it's right up the top of the leaderboard, which is a good benchmark for how well it can stay coherent over many steps instead of wandering off. How many times have you been midway or half an hour into a conversation with an AI model and it completely loses track, loses context, and you've just wasted your time? Thirdly, it's Fable 5's ability to act. When you hook it up to other tools to run code or work with files or execute tests, it doesn't just suggest changes and wait for you to come back. It can make the edits, run the tests, see what broke, and even fix its own mistakes. And that is really about working in shifts, as I said, completing projects end to end rather than just one chat. So from start to cleanup to finish. So how am I actually using Fable 5 in practice? Well, I started using it before it was taken away from us bluntly. And so I've gone back already. So first, this podcast, AI 6, it's coming up to the 500 episode milestone. And instead of me manually scrolling through every episode and guessing what worked or going into my Google Drive folder where all the transcripts and the files are held, I'm going to give a job over to Fable 5. I'm going to feed it all of the episodes, all of the transcripts, all of the show notes, all of the performance data, and then I'm going to get it to cluster the episodes by theme and guest type. I want to know which combinations of topic, guest, and format perform best with you, my audience. I'm then going to draft a strategy memo based on the recommendations for the next batch of episodes. What I should double down on, what maybe angles I should retire, and which gaps I haven't covered yet. So it's almost a year and a half of podcasting. So as you will appreciate, I have lots of big data that I can dive into and interpret. From there, I can turn it into maybe a deck for sponsors or partners, or even repurposing it into some other material. Maybe an updated digital version of AI Playbook, maybe an editorial strategy for my newsletter, Human in the Loop, that you can find on LinkedIn. But I'm definitely excited about getting to episode 500 and working with Fable 5 on that. Then the other use case that I actually built is the student client FAQ portal. So every week I teach or advise around 50 people on AI and all related topics. Very often the same questions come up. How can I trust it? How do I download Claude Cowork? How do I vibe code? What about AI and the EU AI Act? So I collect all of those questions, and I've been recommending to my clients over the years to collect social media questions, in-person questions, speaking conversations that you have at events. And I've been doing that for many years, and I often show people my red notebook. And I'll also voice note them into myself, into my notes app to keep a record. So what I've done is I've got Fable 5 to cluster all of those questions into 10 to 15 core themes. Then I turn them into content for my newsletters, this podcast, for training materials, and I also turn them into FAQs. I also use them for ideas for videos, for social media. And then thirdly, I'm using Fable 5 to help build products, not just content. So I've been working on an AI governance diagnostic tool because we know the EU AI Act is coming into play here in Ireland from August. And so we have compliance that we need to keep up with. And when you take the survey on my AI governance diagnostic tool, it will give you back areas where you need to improve in order to stay compliant. If you're not following me on LinkedIn, then be sure to connect with me. Just search for Joanne Sweeney. And when it's available, I will release it to you and you can test it. So Fable 5 is back. If you're a Claude user, go and have some fun with it. Remember, it's the most powerful Anthropic model yet and a baby sister of Mythos 5. That's it for today's show. If you're ready to turn these insights into skills, here's how I can help. Get your copy of my book, AI Playbook, on Amazon. It's the perfect companion to the show. For weekly AI strategy, subscribe to my newsletter, Human in the Loop, on LinkedIn. Or if you want to take the next big step, you can take our CPD accredited professional diploma in AI. Maybe you need something more tailored for your organization. You can book a call in my calendar at digitaltraining.ie. Or if you work in government or public sector, go over to publicsectormarketingpros.com. If you found this episode useful, please share it with a pro that you know. And I'd love to read your comments on Spotify. And if you can, take a second to like, rate, or subscribe wherever you listen. It really helps the show. This is AI 6. I'll talk to you on the next episode.